Hey everybody, Lindsey Rainwater here. I'm just going to apologize up front if we're having any technical issues. Mercury is retrograde. Yay, gotta love Mercury retrograde. I think everything's working the way it should, but just in case it's not, just heads up for everyone. And as usual, once again, sorry that there wasn't a whole lot of forewarning on me doing this. I am going to try to start actually doing it every week at the same time. The biggest issue that I'm dealing with right now is simply, sorry, I'm shutting off my phone because I don't want it to go off in the middle of this. Basically, I've got such huge life changes coming in the next couple months with the next rainwater going to be arriving in the first week of March that I'm kind of scared to start scheduling anything quite yet until I know what my life is going to look like a little better at that point, because basically it's going to have to be at a time and day of the week where Dad can be home watching him while I'm here with you guys. As much as I'm sure some of you would love to see a baby sitting here, I don't want him crying through it. So anyway, pretty soon I will have these on a schedule and I will stick to that schedule. I promise. I'm not trying to be crazy on you guys. It's just kind of the way life is right now. Anyway, I had two things that I wanted to talk to you today about. One of them is just something that's nagging at the back of my head, and I really just need to get it off my chest because I'm seeing a lot of very damaging energy go around, particularly surrounding success and abundance. And it's something that we seem to be really focused on, abundance, law of attraction and bringing these wonderful things into us. And yet at the same time, we're having an epidemic of people who are very jealous, very pedantic, and petty about other people being successful. And we seem to be living in this society that has this really weird thing of, well, I want to be really successful and I want to be abundant, but nobody else is allowed to have that until I have it, because why should they have it and I shouldn't? And one problem is I do think that we have an entitlement attitude, especially here right now, which really bothers me. Nothing's free, and I know there's going to be people that disagree with me on that, but nothing's free and nothing gets handed to you. And even if it's free for you and someone hands it to you, it costs someone else something. And so we're really, I think, getting our wires crossed on what abundance is, where it comes from, who provides it, and what our role in attaining it is. Because one thing that we need to talk about is energetic trade-offs. And it's like, I offer a service. Someone comes to me for a past life regression and they expect to get it for free. No, that's not going to happen. And I'm not saying I never do that. I'm just saying you don't expect to go to the doctor and the doctor's going to look at you for free. You don't expect to go to an accountant and they're going to, balance your checkbook and figure all your money stuff out for free. We exchange money because it's a type of energy. To say, you gave me this service, so I'm going to give you money in return. It's an energetic exchange. And some people say, oh, we need to go back to the barter system. It's like, in a way, it is bartering because it's exchanging equal amounts of energy. My past life regression is worth this much energy. Your money is worth this much energy. So we exchange that. And it really fouls up the lines, I think, when people get things regularly and there's no exchange of energy, that they are not putting out effort or energy or whatever in order to receive. It creates this massive imbalance, and people don't realize how damaging that is. And I know I've seen a lot of healers lately who go on like Facebook groups and whatnot, and they think that they're practicing and they think that they're helping people, and I'm sure they are, but it's like, oh, I'm going to give free readings to everyone who comments on this. The smart ones close it. I made that mistake the first time that I did that, because I was expecting, you know, like 20 people, not how many did I get? Oh my God, it was like 50. And I was so swamped that I never even was able to get to the full 50 people. I was like, sorry guys, I can't put my life on hold in order to do this. But they put it out there, you know, oh, I'm going to give free readings, and people come out of the woodwork wanting these free readings, and the person never gets anything. I mean, they're lucky if they get a thank you. And it really bothers me, because it's like, what did you get in return for that? There was no energetic exchange. I mean, the people who came back and went, oh my God, that was amazing, thank you, that really gave me some clarity, boom, there's an energetic exchange. If all you wanted for your free reading was gratitude, you got it. But what about all these other people who basically, it was like, oh, well, you said you'd give it for free, so I'm entitled to it. Like, cool. No, not cool. And people, same Facebook groups. I've been dropping out of a lot of Facebook groups, because this is driving me absolutely bonkers. Because people come in and they say, somebody give me a free reading. I mean, they don't even say please, and it's like, no, no, you didn't even put a please out there. You didn't even put a, you know, this is why I'm in this situation. I really need some guidance on this. This is why I can't pay for a reading. You know, nothing. There's no energetic exchange. And this is happening, I think, more and more. It's becoming an epidemic of people thinking that they should just get things for free, and that's it, like no strings attached. It's like, what? Guys, you know, I don't have a problem with charity. I don't have a problem with, you are in a bad situation and you need help, so, you know, people step up and help you. But when it becomes a cultural thing, it just seems to foul up the energy. And I know people are going to disagree with me on that, and you know what, that's fine. But just from an energetic balance level, nothing's free. There's always an exchange, whether it's gratitude, whether it's work, whether it's services, whether it's, you know, an equal value of goods, whether it's money. There has to be a give and take, or else the energy just, you know, the scales, you know, one of them slams to the ground and the other one's dangling way up here, and it's doing absolutely nobody any good, and the balance is completely off, and it fouls up the lines. So, and that's kind of, sorry, that's kind of connected to what's been on my mind. So this was actually a conversation that came up in a small Facebook group, excuse me, that I'm in. That this little Facebook group is mostly women, a couple guys, but we're talking about, you know, abundance and getting money flowing, and doing it by being grateful and being happy about what we're doing and being excited and following our passions. And someone, you know, a couple of people suddenly had these massive windfalls or these huge breakthroughs in their businesses. And it was great. You know, everyone's, sorry guys, I'm having some sinus trouble today. You know, everybody's kind of standing up and cheering and going, yeah, you know, you guys go, that's what we're here for. But a couple of people popped up and they were like, so, you know, this is a safe space, but here's a question. What do you do when you just feel jealous of people who are doing really well? Because, you know, on one hand, logically, I'm like, oh, that's really great for them. And on another hand, I'm like, hey, you know, why did they get this windfall and their business suddenly took off and I'm still struggling? And I think that that's normal. I think that it's human nature to kind of go, you know, why them and not me? Especially when you're a business owner, or you just work your butt off all day, every day, and you are trying to make a difference in the world, and you're trying to make a dent in the universe. And whether that dent in the universe is, you know, writing a bunch of books and them taking off and you know, touch the lives of millions, or, you know, one-on-one work with a handful of clients, but you completely and irreversibly change their lives, or if it's just I don't want to have to worry about putting food on my family's table. I don't want my kids to grow up lacking. Whatever your dent in the universe is, you want to make it, and you're working your tail off to do that, and it seems like everybody's becoming successful except you. And it's very, I just want to say right up front, it's normal to sit back and go, why, universe? Come on, help me out here. And I think we've all been in that position. And I think the important thing is, it's not damaging as long as, number one, you don't dwell on it. Number two, you are happy for other people. Because when you go, oh, that's so awesome, I'm so proud of you, how did you do it? And sometimes there's nothing wrong with asking people how they did it. Like with me and some people who are in similar businesses, we're not in the same business, but we go after similar types of clients. And it's like, okay, I'm not trying to snag your clients from you. You don't have to tell me exactly where you got them, but how did you do that? Was it a webinar? Was it a Facebook ad? How did you reach these people? So sometimes it can really help alleviate that jealousy just by saying, how did you do it? You don't have to give me super specifics. I'm not going to go snipe your success out from under you. But how did you accomplish this? And then you step back and go, how can I apply that to my situation, to my business, to my finances? And sometimes that's enough to help alleviate it. Other times you just kind of step back and you go, oh, a little green-eyed monster chewing at the back of my brain there. And you acknowledge it. And sometimes just in acknowledging it, it kind of takes its power away. And then you move on. You don't dwell on it. It's better to dwell on other people's success. And by focusing on success, you're going to that's the energy that you're going to bring in. And I know a couple people who drive me absolutely bonkers because they do the exact opposite. They focus on the other person's success, but they focus on well, why did they get that, not me? And these people can get pretty annoying and pretty bitter about it, to be honest. And guess what their life is full of? Nothing ever comes their way. Nothing ever goes right. As soon as they have a breakthrough with something, their car breaks down and all of a sudden it's boom. Hey, well, I got like $5,000 and 3,000 of it just went into my car. And then, between bills and groceries, I'm back at square one. So it really comes back around to law of attraction. Focus on the good. Focus on their success and be like, boom, that's awesome. I'm next. I get to experience that soon because I can see it happening around me. That energy is surrounding me. I'm surrounding myself with people who are just exploding with this super, super successful energy and super abundance. So sooner or later, it's going to come to me as long as I keep focusing on that positive, upbeat energy. And I'm hoping that most people who would be following me and watching this would understand that. You guys, you have a grip on the law of attraction. You have grips on things like the Abundance Angels, which, by the way, is a book by Doreen Virtue that I haven't actually made it all the way through yet. I've made it about halfway through and I keep getting distracted. And it is a great book, though. I definitely recommend it. But outside of, and it's not even outside, because I saw someone the other day, and I posted about this on my Facebook page, you might have seen it, that it was in a spiritual group, and this woman was saying the three greatest evils are wealth, abundance, and prosperity. These things are evil, and they're destroying people. It's like, no, no, wealth and abundance and prosperity are good things. And, coming from the Christian church, I've met a lot of people that's like, well, money is the root of all evil. No, that's not what the Bible says. The Bible says the love of money is the root of all evil. Greed is the root of all evil. And people want to say, well, if you have money, you'll be corrupted by it and then you'll just be greedy. No, because the likelihood of it is that you were a greedy person before you had the money, and it just perpetuates because you have money. If you're a good person, you are a good, generous person who just wants, to build a better life for your family, have the time and money to enjoy the finer things in life, and then you want to turn around and help other people, that's not evil. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with living a nice lifestyle. I mean, one of my big things is buy some land, build a house on it, preferably up in the mountains so that I can be around the trees all the time, and buy my husband a plane. Planes are expensive and I want to travel the country. And people are probably going to think that that's not very spiritual of me because I'm going to have this really nice lifestyle. But they really have no room to pass judgment because I've already got things lined up that it's like, I'm going to give to these charities and I'm going to do this. And, you know, I'm not saying that to make myself sound good because I don't really like talking about stuff like that because that's not the point. But when you have money, when you have abundance, when you have prosperity, you have something to give back. And people want to make it seem like having money is a bad thing. But when your cup's empty, you can't fill anyone else's. When your cup is overflowing, you can go, I have more than I need. I'm going to go out and I'm going to help all these people. And you get to choose who you go out there and help. That's awesome. There's nothing wrong with that. And it comes back around to the jealousy thing, that people get jealous. You know, they're struggling. I don't have money, and so I'm mad that you have money. It's like, why are you mad that I have money? Why are you mad that I get to take care of my family and then I get to turn around and I get to change other people's lives by being generous, by giving them a hand up? You know, why is that a bad thing? And so it does happen even within the spiritual circles that people really get their head turned around backwards on wealth and having money, and they convince themselves that it's a bad thing. And I think it's a vicious cycle because some of them, they don't have money, and so it's kind of a sour grape situation, you know, the Aesop's fables, that it's, oh, well, I don't have it, so it must not be that good. And they convince themselves of this. And the next step is basically to try to convince everyone else that it's not good either. And outside, you know, spiritual circles, it's obviously a big problem. And here's a great example that I have that is just, I mean, just nagging at the back of my head. On Facebook, I follow a comedian cartoonist, and he goes by the Oatmeal. And if you're faint of heart, don't go look him up. I take no responsibility for what you might see if you go and look this guy up. I think he's hilarious, but sometimes he really kind of crosses some lines, and it's like, oh, well, I'm never going to get that image out of my head. And, you know, I don't agree with the guy on everything. You don't have to agree with everybody on everything because he's pretty anti-religion. And sometimes he makes some pretty off-color jokes about religion. You know, sometimes they're funny, and sometimes it's like, wow, I think that was a little harsh, but okay, you know, moving on. And but he came out with a Kickstarter campaign 4 or 5 days ago, and he was asking, and he teamed up with a couple of guys from like Xbox and Marvel Comics, you know. So this is like a little power trio of guys, and they go, we're going to create this crazy card game. It's called Exploding Kittens. And I'm not trying to plug his product here, but I about died. It made me laugh so hard. And I'm like, you know, what the heck is this? And this is why I've been following it, because it just sounded so absurd. He asked for $10,000 on a Kickstarter campaign in order to actually take this idea and turn it into a reality. Okay, that's a very, you know, all in all, in order to produce a product that you're going to sell, that's a very modest amount of money. 3 days later, they have raised over $3 million. Okay, maybe I'm weird. I just sit back and I didn't, you know, I didn't donate to that campaign. And as much as this card game sounds absolutely hysterical, it's just like, you know, that's not what I'm in the market for right this second, is an Exploding Kittens card game. But at the same time, I'm just watching this. It's like you can just sit there and refresh the page, and it keeps racking up numbers. You know, how much that they've raised is going up by the minute. And it's like, this is insane. I don't remember the last time I saw this much money pour into one spot this quickly. And So I guess I kind of stepped back and was looking at it as a lesson in abundance and money making, and just the way that people, and it kind of goes back to the energy exchange, that this cartoonist has been entertaining people for years. And, he's had products on the market that you can buy, t-shirts, mugs. But for the most part, he just entertains. That's that's it. That's what he does. He excels at making people laugh, and he comes out with this, and it's basically, and I say donate. I shouldn't be saying donate, because it's not really a donation. You are supporting the campaign, but you're getting something in return. You're basically pre-buying the game. So many people have pre-bought this game that they have raised $3 million over. I'm sure at this point it's over that, because in the first 3 days they raised $3 million. That's insane. I sit back and go, boom, good for you guys. That's crazy. I wish I had an idea that cool that it would just, go absolutely viral and everyone would fall in love with it and pre-order hundreds of thousands of editions of this. Oh my gosh, the hate mail that has been pouring in on his Facebook page has been absolutely astounding to me. And these are fans. These are people who follow him. These are people who have been reading his comics probably for years and being entertained by them. And all of a sudden, because he hit this level of success, they go from fans to haters like that. It's amazing. Why? Why? He's not stealing money from people. He is exchanging money. I mean, who knows how much he's actually going to walk away from after, production costs and everything like that. And this is obviously being split between a team of people, but who cares? Even if he was walking away with $3 million in his pocket, why is that a big deal? Why is it all of a sudden, people are calling him greedy? People are saying you ought to donate all of this to charity. People are saying, people have said some pretty horrible things, but some people are like, well, this thing better come with like fog machines and laser beams for this much money. And it's like, you're not the one that paid $3 million. You paid like 25 or 35 to get the game, and enough of you put out that little bit of money that all of a sudden they have $3 million in this one Kickstarter campaign. And it just, I don't even know if there's a fix for it. Like I said, it's been nagging at the back of my brain and driving me crazy, because it's like, all this guy wants to do is entertain people. That's all he wants to do. And he's entertaining people to the next level by not just having drawings and not just having comics, but turning it into an interactive game experience that people can play with their friends and, with their kids. And all of a sudden, everyone's demonizing him because, God forbid, he was successful. He made money. And all of a sudden, fans are turning into raving lunatics who are telling him that he's doing something wrong, and that it's bizarre. It's almost like a hellfire and brimstone. Repent, repent your ways, and give away all this money that you rightfully earned. Because, like I said, energy exchange. This is not a donation. This is not that $3 million rolled in and he just gets to sit back and enjoy it. That's not the point. The point is that he's giving this and people are giving back. And there was this huge energy exchange. That should be celebrated. That should just like blow people's minds. And there were also people who were getting upset because their Kickstarter campaigns were Kickstarter campaigns for people that they know who, had crowdfunding going on trying to cover medical bills and stuff. And they're like, well, my friend's campaign can't even get a few $100s to help her with her medical bill, and this doesn't seem fair. Okay, number one, there's that friggin' word again, fair. Life's not fair. I'm sorry, as much as it sucks, life is not fair. We cannot use fair as a measuring stick, because it doesn't work. Because what's fair to you might not be fair to that person over there, and it's certain, and what's fair to that person over there is sure as hell not fair to me. We can see examples of that all the time. My God, watch small children playing and let them set the rules on what's fair, and you're going to have a feudal system within about 5 minutes. So we can't pull, that's not fair. What is fair? Put it in a box for me, because you can't do it. And so, like I said, I don't even know if there's a fix for it or what, or I just want to bring some, shine a spotlight on this, that we as humans, I think, it's kind of human nature, but especially in our culture, in westernized culture, it seems like the moment someone is successful, you throw them to the wolves. It's like, how dare you? How dare you be successful? How dare you have more money than me? How dare you be happier than I am? How dare you have a better job? And we throw them to the wolves. And then, of course, if that person comes back leading the pack, then we're mad. How dare you survive me throwing you to the wolves? And how dare you try to come back? What? It doesn't make any sense. And so I just want to put a spotlight on this, and I want to encourage everyone to take just baby steps, because like I said, I don't really imagine that you guys specifically have a big problem with just overwhelming jealousy of people who are being successful. But those little gremlins, they get in your head like a little green-eyed monster chewing on your spinal column. And it can cause you to do and think strange things. Your best friend gets a promotion, and you've been stuck in the same position at your job for 2-3 years, and you keep getting passed up. It's suddenly very easy to resent your friend for that. And it's very easy to not look inward and say, okay, am I blocking my success? Am I doing something that's preventing these good things from coming to me? Or from looking outward into the universe and going, okay, why is the universe not aligning the way that I really kind of need it to? And I'm not saying blame the universe, but if you internalize and go, how can I fix this? Or you look out in the universe and go, what maybe am I doing or allowing other people to do that is slowing me down? You could actually find answers. Whereas looking at your friend and going, well, this just sucks, how dare they be successful? And it's probably not a conscious thought. It's not something that you generally sit there and think about people who you care about. It is probably something you think about people, that person at the office that got the promotion that you've never really liked. All of a sudden, it's very easy to justify having negative thoughts about them because you don't like them in the first place. And it's a very dangerous, very slippery slope. And so for that rant of mine, I think I'm just encouraging people to, take a step back and ask yourself, when is the last time that I was just honest to God happy for someone who was more successful than me? And maybe it was today, maybe it was yesterday, maybe it was years ago. And it's not something that you have to, discuss with anyone. I just want you to discuss it with yourself, discuss it with your sources, discuss it with your angels. And if you find yourself going, wow, I'm jealous of people, more than happy for them, that's a great start. You can sit down and you can talk to your angels about it and say, wow, guys, why am I so angry about this? Why do I feel the need to be jealous of these people? Why do I feel like I'm lacking in some way, that the only way I feel, to make myself feel better is to be jealous of other people? So that's my suggestion to you guys. Just spend some time and look around. And I would even say maybe the second step of that is look around, look for someone who has experienced a success that, you would very much love to have. And instead of saying, oh, I wish that was me, just focus on saying, that is so wonderful for that person. Thank you, universe. Thank you, angels. Thank you, God, for bringing that to that person. And just take a minute and practice gratitude for other people's success, because that's what I started doing a while back, because I realized I was dealing with that. That's the green-eyed monster chewing on my on my spinal cord, and realizing I'm having trouble being happy for people who are succeeding around me. And so I just started spending very specific time thanking the universe for bringing them success. And I don't want to say that it's created like any huge changes in my life as of this point or anything, but it did change something internally. It changed something in my heart, because all of a sudden I'm not dealing with that jealousy. It's no, that is absolutely wonderful for them, and I'm so happy for them. And you know what? It goes back to the, you know what, I'm next. I should be, it's coming because I've surrounded myself with these successful people, and I am simply happy for them. I'm proud of them. I'm proud of the hard work that they have put in, and they deserve this. And I hope that just more waves of abundance come crashing over these people. And it really just changes your paradigm on how you look at abundance and success. And with things like the law of attraction and karma and whatnot, when you're happy for other people's success, the likelihood of others being happy for your success once that success gets here is much more likely. So that's my challenge to you for this week. Just find time and figure out how to just be happy for other people's success, just to be like, awesome, yes, we need more of that. So that was the first thing. Like I said, I just needed to get that off my chest because I'm just overwhelmed with the negativity of people lately, just wanting to bash anyone who dares to be more successful than them. And it's just like, guys, this is really sad that we've come to this point. The second thing I wanted to talk about, a little more esoteric, is images, signs, symbols, images, things that pop into your head or pop into your dreams. And I'm going to write a blog post about this too. My last blog post was called Diving Headfirst Down the Rabbit Hole, or Jumping Down the Rabbit Hole, something about that. And it was an image that kept popping into my head when my guides are, my sources have been taking me down the path toward past life work, which is something that I've always been kind of had a morbid fascination with, I guess you'd say. That's probably what I would call it. And or at least I considered it a morbid fascination, because I'm pretty sure I mentioned this last week, it's not something that we talked about growing up. It's not something that you talk about when you basically grow up Southern Baptist. You actually generally stay far, far away from things like that. And it was just something, I never wanted to bring up. And all through my life, I keep getting pinged by these things. And it's like, I'm still looking into my past lives. And you know what? I'm not sure that that's ever going to end. I'm not really sure that that's something, you can find all your past lives and go, okay, I've cataloged all of them. I don't know yet. But something that really, I've been remembering certain incidences. And one incident was I walked into, we were visiting with my parents one day last year. I think it was, it was quite a while ago, but it was last year sometime. And I walked into my dad's office, and he's in there doing something. He's got the TV on, different channel than we had it on in the living room. Well, I was just shocked. It's just like, I couldn't even think for a second, because I look over at the TV, and what was on the TV looked so familiar. And it was like my heart just dropped into my stomach. And the only word I could use to describe what I felt was homesick. Like I wanted to cry all of a sudden. And I'm like, I have no idea what this show is, but oh my God, I'm like choking here because I want to go home. What is that? I was born and raised in Nevada, and now I live in Idaho. I mean, he was watching Vikings, the I don't even know what you'd call that, historical drama. And I've never watched it. I would like to. I've heard it's really great. I've got a lot of friends that watch it, so I probably already know most of the plot line. Thanks, spoiler alerts and whatnot. But yeah, I had to stop and I had to go, Dad, what are you watching? He goes, oh, it's Vikings. It's this really great show. And it just startled the hell out of me because, like I said, I don't quite remember what the scene was. I thought it was a wedding or something, and I just sucked the wind right out of me. And so I've kind of been following this trail of little things back and going, okay, there's been a lot more evidence of this being a part of my life than I thought there was. But anyway, I kept talking about the rabbit hole. And it was something that I've been joking with my husband about. I'm like, wait, further down the rabbit hole, just like Alice. Yeah. As if my life isn't weird enough already. Now we're going to go do past life work. Aren't we excited? And which he inevitably just laughs at me. And he's like, you can't argue with them. You've tried arguing with them before and it doesn't work. I know. I realized something. And it was the day that I made a comment about jumping down the hole feet first. And all of a sudden something clicked in my head and I went, that sounds familiar. Hold that thought. And I went digging through some old journals of mine where I was writing down my dreams. And it suddenly hit me that there was a dream that I had, and it was a year ago, almost exactly a year ago, like last week. I had this very, very intense dream, and it was with my dream angel. My dream angel was a integral character in it. It was mainly him and my husband and me. And there was a lot of symbolism and a lot of really weird things that happened in this dream, as with most of my dreams. But the main thing was at the end, we were traveling, we were going somewhere. At the end, we're standing in a hole in the ground. And it was mostly just like this ring of rocks and this gaping black hole. I mean, you couldn't see anything in there. And my dream angel went first after telling my husband that he couldn't come. He's like, she has to do this, this is not a journey for you. This is a journey for her. And it was a well. And I realized, again, going back through this journal, and I'm finding all these dreams, and I have been dreaming about wells for years. Like since my preteens, I've been having these very vivid dreams about wells. And, I've done some research on what wells mean in dreams, and it's mostly deep spiritual knowledge, deep esoteric knowledge. And it's really been interesting to go back and look at these, because at some points the well is full of mist. At some points the well is glowing. There's something like glowing up from inside it. One time the well was dried up and full of dirt. One time the well was full of garbage, like rotting grody-ness. But there's been a few times where it's just this hole in the ground, like it's been there forever, but nobody really uses it anymore. And this was the first dream a year ago, was the first dream that I actually got very close to one of them, or more than just looking down in it. And so it's one of those things that it might, maybe it seems more important to me than it actually is. But when it suddenly hit me that this commentary about the rabbit hole that I've been using for the last few weeks since the beginning of this year, and the image would pop into my mind, this dark hole, and you don't know what's down there, and you don't know what's on the other side of it, but it's kind of, you can't really help yourself. And when it suddenly hit me, like, oh, I'm not talking about a rabbit hole, I'm talking about a well. I don't know. And my husband was kind of tossing things out there. He's like, well, that makes a lot of sense, especially if it's connected to your past life work. Well, where does it go? It goes somewhere else. And, it's kind of it's a portal in a way from here to there. And so it was just something else that I wanted to talk to you guys about, when realizing I've been using this term for a few weeks, and it's suddenly like, oh, facepalm moment. I realized I've been talking about the right thing and using the wrong word. And so, and then looking back and going, wow, this is something that has been showing up in my dreams for a very long time. So it really shows me that this is just something that's been just been on its way for a while, and it's kind of been inevitable. Surprise, surprise. So I guess my second thing that I would really encourage you guys to do is think about, is there like a turn of phrase that you use regularly that seems to be a little more profound than maybe it ought to be, maybe you mean it. And really check in with your sources, check in with your angels, and check in with your dreams and see, is this something that keeps coming up because they're trying to send you a message and you're seeing it as one thing, or you're not really thinking about it too hard at all, and it's actually this really profound symbol, and they are trying very hard to get a message through to you in a way that you'll understand it, or at least in a way that it will be imprinted on your mind to where when you're finally ready to understand it, you're going to go, oh, I'm an idiot. It's been there sitting in front of me this whole time. That's fantastic. So I've really been doing that lately with the well, with dreams about the well. And I have a tendency to I try to write down my dreams. So I either have a vivid memory of some of these or it's written down somewhere. And libraries. Libraries are another one that I've really been looking back and going, I have had so many dreams about libraries and bookstores, and there's a difference between libraries and bookstores in my dreams, and just what those dreams mean and what the symbolism is and things like that, and realizing, wow, you guys have really been trying very hard to get some of these ideas through my thick skull for quite some time, and I just have not been listening. Wow, I'm thick. So, and don't get down on yourself. I say that in a completely joking manner because in a way, I think humans, I think we are a little thick because they have a tendency that they are trying to get messages through, and we are either ignoring them or just not getting them because we are just not ready. And all of a sudden, one day it's going to get through, and it's going to be like lightning struck your brain, and you're going to be going, how have I been missing that this whole time? It probably will happen. Just don't get too hard on yourself because it happens to all of us, I think. And once you figure out what it is, then you know you're ready. Even if you don't feel ready, because I still know how that is. I mean, I'm being pushed so hard, do this, and get all this stuff ready, and you're going to start doing past life work with people, and I'm going, I feel like a deer caught in the headlights here, but okay. And I know I'm perfectly capable of doing it, but your ego starts up and starts going, you can't do that. And you have to keep checking in with your sources, and then they just keep sending you symbols and images, and there's just no arguing with it. So on that note, I pulled a card today, like I try to do every time, and I pulled it from the, if I can grab the right side of the box, the Daily Guidance from Your Angel card deck, Angels, and I just really like this deck. It works really well for me. And this kind of ties in with what I've been talking about, because something that I've noticed since the new year, the energy is completely different. The energy is crazy, and there's a lot going on, and there's a lot of changes happening. There's a lot of people kind of shaking off things that no longer serve them, cutting connections with people that no longer serve them, making new connections with people, or making connections with new people and making new connections with people that they've known for a while. And all of a sudden, it's there's a lot of shifts happening, a lot of paradigm changes going on. And I've noticed two things. Number one, people going, oh my gosh, I've got these amazing new ideas for my business. And people going, oh, I can't do that. That's like bigger than me and it's scary. I've been going through this the last few weeks, but it's not just me. It's so many people that I know. So many people are going, I want a career change. I want to go into business for myself, or it's, I don't necessarily want to leave my job, but I want my job to be completely different. I want it to be to where it serves me better in my capacity so that I can turn around and serve everyone else better. And so there's been a big movement toward that this year. And along with that comes the gremlins and comes the doubt and comes the little voice in your head that says, you're not qualified. You can't do that. You're going to make an idiot of yourself. Friggin' annoying voice. And anyway, so the card I pulled was Go For It, which is always a nice card to get. And it says, your prayers and positive expectations have been heard and answered. We've been working with you on the situation since its genesis, and we continue to watch over you and everyone involved. Stay on your present path as it will take you very far indeed. And this card is all about, I mean, go for it. You can't really get much clearer than that. But they're saying, you know, quit procrastinating. Now's the time. You've got a plan. We've helped you make a plan. We've been giving you instructions on this is what we want you to do, and now's the time to go for it because it's not going to get any better. As a matter of fact, the longer you wait, you know, the more momentum that you're likely to lose. And so, like with me, I've really been, I had a little project that I needed to wrap up some loose ends on. And I've been trying to get that done. And it's like, okay, I just need to get this done, get it out of my hair. And then I can just gung-ho 100% focus on the past life journeys work. And they're really kicking me in the butt to get back to that past life work. So, you know, they really do. They want us to just, you know, quit doubting yourself, quit second guessing everything. Talk to us if you have concerns. But we're going to start kicking you guys in the butt because we want to see you guys do this. There's a reason why we want you guys to do this. We want to see the world shifted and changed for the better. And the only way that's going to happen is if you guys get on the ball and, you know, complete your missions. So, good card. But they're definitely going to start getting on us, I think, and it's going to be a big deal. And it's going to be, nope, we're not going to let you guys procrastinate. Nope, we're not going to let you guys get sidetracked anymore. We're gonna make sure that you stay right where we want you, doing what you need to do. So quit fighting. And I mean, I need to take this advice too. I'm not telling you guys, I'm telling all of us, we need to quit fighting, quit procrastinating, quit doubting, and just get out there and do it. So on that note, we've been here almost an hour, so I will let you guys go. I guess my plan is to be here again about this time next week. I'll try to give a little bit more advance notice of what time we're going to do it. No promises. And I hope this was helpful to you guys. If you guys have any thoughts or questions, feel free to post them below this video. And I will post a link to my Facebook fan page and to my new Past Life Journeys page. You might have noticed over on the Facebook page now it's getting serious. I'm posting stuff about the Past Life Journeys, and I'm hoping that there's going to be some big announcements about some new offers and gifts regarding that next week. So please stay tuned for that. And on that note, I will see you guys next week. Blessings.